Welcome to this new lesson on a new control. Now, this time we are going to cover a slightly more complicated control, which is a slider that I just added here to our canvas. Now, before we actually go into looking at the slider itself, I would just like to show you one thing that we can do and that we haven't covered yet, and those are themes in UI Toolkit. And now, unfortunately, I had to decide this is one of the things that I had to throw away of the course or kind of omit this because now, as I already said, we cannot do everything, and this is not going to be a 100-hour course. So this was one thing that is kind of more advanced, and maybe I would touch this in a rather advanced course someday. But for now, I did throw it away. I just want to show you how you can generally set them or use them. Now, themes are basically nothing more than a style sheet where you can kind of reference other style sheets, for example. And one thing that you have here is that in your UI builder, you have a couple of themes that are sort of built in and that basically define some default stylings for your stuff. So you can see when I choose this active editor theme, when I change to light theme, for example, the background changes. And when I go to Unity default runtime theme, now you can see we get this sort of transparent background, and our slider has already some different default settings. You can see we don't have this round knob here anymore. We get this rectangle for this drag element here. And in my version of UI Toolkit, how that works is you only get this runtime theme once you have connected at least one scene to your actual game view. So once you already set this UI document for once, then you get this option to select this runtime theme. And since we are mostly just working on those runtime apps and not on editor themes, it's probably a good idea if we just stick with this runtime theme, because then what we see here will have the same default stylings as we see in the actual game view. Now, just one thing, if you are really into theming and maybe this is your workflow in, I don't know, in your web projects and you're already used to it, what you can do is when you go on your panel here, you can basically define a theme for a panel, and then this would sort of be your those would be your default styles for this panel, or I don't know, your theme. That this can be also something more complicated. This can have like a whole your whole styling rules for whatever thing you want. So if you want to have like one basic kind of global style sheet for everything that you then add to your canvas and to your particular screens, you could do this here. But we are not going into detail on that thing, because obviously you can also do this just as we did it so far by just attaching normal style sheets to your UXML files, or rather to your layouts, to your UI builder projects, and then obviously bring it together as we did this before. Now, that's it for theming. I would just recommend to use this runtime theme once you have it, and then we will see we will have the live result in our game view here.